Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video I created this look using some products that I bought earlier this morning, and I discussed everything that's been going on with my internship and all the work that I've been doing and different things that have been going on since my last update that I posted. And along the way, I had to completely restart and do a totally different eyeshadow look. My phone died, my camera lost about 20 minutes of footage when the SD card got full. What else? Oh yeah, and when I started editing, I realized that my intro got erased somehow. It's not there. I don't know what happened to it. But anyways, so I'm recording this now at the end, and you can see how everything turned out. I'm pretty proud of how this look turned out. So if you want to watch me recreate this, or not recreate it, if you want to watch me create it and you want to hear about everything that I've been doing, then please stick around for the rest of the video. So to start, I'm going to run off camera for a bit and wash all this makeup off. I did this look for the Rouge event this morning at Sephora and just kind of threw it together really quickly. Actually, I think what I want to do is go through the stuff that I bought and talk about that. And then I will wash my face and we can kind of get into the makeup. But anyways, so today when I went to Sephora, I grabbed a few things just to try to make myself feel a little bit better, including an eyeshadow palette, and I got the new Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, which I saw this online, and like I'm in love with the colors right now. It's just something I want to play with because you see that? I mean, right, there we go. I don't really have any blue eyeshadow shades, so I'm super excited about this. Like, I'm looking at it in my little viewfinder down here, and I just think this is gorgeous. So we're gonna play with this today. Let's see what else I got. I got one of these Anastasia Beverly Hills brow kits. So it's got the pomade, the gel, and a little bitty brush that is smaller than the one I currently have, and I really like that because I've always had issues trying to do the little hair things. So I might do my brows on camera today. And then the Holy Grail, I finally got a large full-size container of the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, which I love this stuff. It actually makes my skin look healthier even with wearing all the makeup that I like to do. But I'm super excited about this. And then after I left Sephora, I realized that my Jeffree Star concealer that I bought a couple months ago was already almost empty, so I took the time and ran by Ulta to get the Tarte Shape Tape because, as you know, they don't sell it at Sephora, which is just depressing. So I'm going to use all of these products today to create a look. I'm gonna stop talking now, go wash my face, come back and get started. Alright, well, I was debating on whether or not I wanted to do my base and everything off camera, but I have a lot to talk about, so I figure I'll just go ahead and get into it and do everything on camera. Sorry if this video turns out to be a little bit long. That's my fault for not doing an update in between the last one that I made and this one. I've just been kind of overwhelmed and stressed out. I've had a lot going on lately. I'm gonna start with my Bobbi Brown face base, but I've loved it in Oklahoma so much that it's been a goal of mine to try to stay here and find a job. So I've been working on trying to get my resume updated and all kinds of stuff. I'm just having a hard time figuring out where I can work and what to do because I'm so attached to the center right now that I don't want to go anywhere else, but they don't have any positions opened, so that's just not gonna happen and I need to give it up. So the last I left off, I think like the week after that, we had an event at the center called Center Experience, which is where companies from all over Tulsa come in and they participate in wheelchair sports and all kinds of different events. Our particular event was a 4-part relay race that kind of simulated 4 different kinds of disabilities. It's been a minute, so let me think. Oh, I'm gonna be going in with my Fenty Beauty foundation in 120. Let me think. So the first leg of the relay race was, I want to say visual impairment. So people wore eye masks and had to make their way down between some chairs, and then when they got to the table at the end, they had to dig through this little basket, find a poker chip, and put it in a little solo cup, and then make their way back completely without sight, using the little cane to feel their way around, you know? The next one was, I believe, neuropathy. So people had to wear gardening gloves and try to button a shirt, as well as stacking 10 pennies, not being able to fill their hands. The third, what was the third? The third was basically a stroke. So they had to put on a shoe, or a sock and a shoe with one hand, and then go down to the end and cut out a circle with only one hand. And then the last part was using a wheelchair to maneuver your way down the racetrack, and then you had to go backwards from the end and all the way back to the starting line. I did a couple of them myself, and I've got to say, it's definitely eye-opening to see how hard some people have it. You know, we don't always consider things like that, so I think it's nice that they have events like that to just kind of raise awareness for disabilities. But let me think, what else? So other than that, let's talk about my my clients, I guess. Yeah. So the last time I updated you guys, I had received one client who had a stroke, and we were kind of working on her overall functionality. It probably had a lot to do with me not knowing how to handle people correctly yet, you know, and I didn't give her the proper motivational tools to keep her going. But on top of that, she did start physical therapy, so she had been coming to the center less, and long story short, we're not really working together anymore because she's kind of moved in a different direction. So that was a little disappointing, but I was given the opportunity to work with a young man who is about my age, who had a traumatic brain injury from a car accident. And we have been working to improve his balance and coordination so he can go back to school. That experience has been very positive for both of us. And so far we've made a lot of improvements. And I'm really happy with the way that's going. I'm really sad that I'm gonna have to leave before I really get to see anything, but I'm gonna make sure to give him my contact information and things like that so we can stay in touch and I can continue to give him stuff to work on. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in, drop in, let's see, fair beige. Actually, let me check this foundation. Okay, we're good. Other than personal training, I've also been allowed to start working on leading group classes, so like group exercise classes. They've given me the lead on 2 of them, both basically chair aerobic classes. One is actually called chair aerobics, the other one is called Totally Fit. But they're both basically the same thing. Totally Fit just we don't use weights. We use some like little toning balls and a foam ball to kind of, you know, just have something to move with. But it's for older people or people with less function, so it's a little easier. But I do both of those every week now for the last, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. I've been doing that and I really enjoy it. Like at first, I had a hard time getting comfortable with raising my voice and sitting in front of all those people, you know. As I got more used to it, I just got comfortable because everybody's so nice there, you know. It's a good environment to learn in because it's a very non-judgmental place. I don't know if the shade's right for me. It's not as brightening as I would like it to be. We'll see though. I might just have to go exchange it. But I've done classes. Oh, and I've been helping with adaptive sports lately. But on Thursday, I did power wheelchair soccer. So I sat in a power wheelchair and helped them play. But I was kind of terrible because I'd never been in a power wheelchair before compared to people who are in them, you know, every day. But that was an experience. Like, learning how to drive one of those was crazy. I'll insert a video of them kind of playing back and forth. So now I'm going in with my translucent Jeffree Star Cosmetics setting powder to just kind of set everything, and then I'll go and do my contour and probably do my contour and then do my baking, let that sit and do my brows. Don't judge my routine, I'm still working on things. So other than power soccer, I've done, ooh, look how wide I look in that camera, that's a lot. I've done wheelchair softball, like helped out with that. That was very interesting. And also I just kind of observed wheelchair basketball. I do have a video of that too though, it's pretty entertaining. I just love this line of work. Like, as I've said before, I couldn't have picked a better. Let me get these creases out of my face. Oh, you know what I'm gonna use? My Jeffree Star Cosmetics mirror that I got in my mystery box. I'm super sad that I have to leave. I really love everyone at the center. I love the people that I work with. I've been having a great time here. I'm not ready to go home. Home is just such a dark place for me because of things that have happened to me there and just the way that life kind of went wrong for me at almost every turn. Just dark memories, you know. not good times, not somewhere I like to be. And I hate that my hometown makes me feel that way, you know, because I wish it was different. I wish it didn't have to be that way, but we're already there, you know? Those things are already set. Like, even the house that my grandma helped me to get and that I designed myself and put so much love and effort into has this dark aura around it from things that happened earlier this year and last year, you know. I'm just ready for a new environment that's not so negative. And this has been great. It's shown me that it's not necessarily me that has so many problems with depression and things like that. It's that I'm engulfed in this environment that just kind of feeds on it, you know? My depression and anxiety feed off of the negative energy from that place, and I don't want to go back there. Like, it is my goal to not stay past graduation. But I have to say, I am super excited to graduate December 14th, which is a big accomplishment for me because I've gone to school for quite a few years dealing with all kinds of different things that kind of were a little bit of roadblocks for me. Depression was definitely a factor a few years ago. I had to drop out for a couple years to get myself back together. You know, like, if you feel like you can't hack it with your current mental state and that you need a rest to get back to 100%, I feel like you should definitely do that and take the time to take care of yourself, because nobody else is going to take care of you the way that you can. You have to love yourself and take care of you. Otherwise, you'll end up in a dark place. And then after I came back from that, I just had a few more, you know, I wouldn't call them minor issues, but they were definitely not enough to make me drop out again. And I just kind of got my motivation back and started working towards my future. And after I finished this internship, I'll finally be done. I'm proud of myself. Like, I can admit that, you know, this is just the path I chose for myself because I know what I want to do with my life. I want to help improve the disabled community in any way that I can. And the only way I knew at the time was to try to get into personal training because I really didn't want to do physical therapy. I did physical therapy as a kid growing up, and it just, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know that it probably helped me, but I really didn't notice any kind of real changes in my body until I got into the gym and started training and doing weight training and working on different things, you know? So what I've been doing personal training wise, the girl I worked with had a stroke. The guy I'm working with has a traumatic brain injury, or TBI for short. What I did for her included a lot of, so we did weight training with free weights. She's in a wheelchair, so it made it a little bit more difficult, but we would use little 2 to 5 pound weights depending on the exercise, and do a lot of arm exercises, a lot of extensions to where she'd have to do the full movement with her arm fully extended because she had a lot of tension in there. I worked on her hip flexors a lot and her legs. We did a lot of bridges. I think that bridges or hip thrusters, depending on the term that you learned, I think that they're a major staple in an exercise program. Like, when I was really weak And now that I am again, I can't do squats. And I always wanted, you know, the squat booty. But can't do them. You shouldn't try, because if your form is bad, you're just gonna tear your back up. Along with other things. It's not a beginner move, and everyone acts like it is. So I would do bridges. And I would do like 50 a day, and got up to where I was doing them with a 45-pound like small barbell across my lap. And now I'm going to break into my Anastasia brow kit. Alright, so here's my gel, here's my pomade, and then let me see if I can show you how tiny this little brush is. You see how little? I don't know if you can tell. I also did a lot of functional training with her, so I would have her between we call them the parallel bars, which is for, you know, people who can't walk. They are literally, if you've ever been in an orthopedic office, they have those bars for people that are learning how to walk again, learning how to walk with prosthetics, you know, so they have support on both sides. We'd put her between there. She would walk and do obstacles around some blocks, and then I would take a step and have her do step-ups to kind of work on her balance and coordination. I also would put a chair between there and let her do sit-to-stands, because she had a really hard time, still has a really hard time, transferring from her wheelchair. So sit-to-stands were very useful, in my opinion, you know. Even at one point had her walk. I followed behind her with her wheelchair, but I had her walk one of the hallways. My main goal with her was, you know, to work on balance and things like that, but she's so limited in function that we were both kind of learning how to work with each other, and I think she just got irritated with me, which, you know, is not her fault. It's my fault, and it's also probably a little bit on the center's fault for giving me somebody that I probably wasn't 100% prepared to work with, you know? That is a dark ass brow, but I'm gonna try to fix it. Just, we'll see what happens. But then there's my male client who has the TBI. With him, we've done a lot of balance exercises. I put him on yoga balls, and we do things like marching, where you do opposite arm, opposite leg raises, try to balance on the ball. We do what I call walkouts, which is something I did in physical therapy, which is you lay on your stomach on the ball and you walk your hands out till the ball's at about your knees or above them, and then you walk back in. And you have to kind of stabilize yourself, you know, and it works on everything, in my opinion. I had him, but I would have him once he improved a little bit. I had him go out and he would do a push-up as he got to his final length and then roll back in. So that was pretty interesting, and he's done pretty well with that. We would also work on bridges again, because I think bridges are very important for stability work. And we did alternating on all fours, which is, you know, on your hands and knees on all fours, and then you reach out your opposite arm, opposite leg. And then reversing it, you lay on your back with all fours up in the air, and you drop opposite arm, opposite leg, which I didn't know what those were called for a while, but then I heard them in yoga terms, and apparently they call them dead dogs. So that's what we've been calling them. My brows are way too dark, but with him it's been pretty smooth sailing. We kind of have I guess a more relaxed situation going on, you know, because he's not as hostile towards me, knows that I'm trying to help, has kind of seen the things that I'm doing are making a difference, you know. But I'm proud of the improvements that I've seen with him just in the last couple weeks, you know. I'm just sad that it's gonna end before I could really get something going, but I'm trying to write up some good exercise plans for him to kind of work on while I'm not there. These look crazy. So that's my update on training. And you know, I really haven't had a big social life lately. I did make a friend in the bar class that I joined, which you have met her in the video I posted of us unboxing her Jeffree Star mystery box and me doing her makeup for a Halloween party. And me doing my own makeup dressed as Jeffree Star. So if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out because it's kind of funny. I didn't record me doing my own makeup, but I recorded me doing hers. And these look crazy. I have straight up original James Charles eyebrows right now. What the hell do I do? I don't know. Maybe it'll salvage, maybe not. Who knows? Don't judge me. Alright, I'm gonna use my concealer brush and try to carve these girls out and see if I can salvage them. But yeah, so Justine has been amazing with helping me meet people and be social. I tend to go out with her at least once every weekend, so that's been good for me. You know, we went and did a 90s party a few weeks ago where I dressed as Courtney Love. I can throw in a shot of the comparison of the look of hers that I used compared to how my look turned out, which I thought it was pretty good. Nobody knew who I was though, like even the people wearing Nirvana shirts and things like that didn't recognize me, so I mean, I kind of look like a prostitute, so I get why they didn't recognize me, but come on now. But yeah, so there was the 90s party. We did art crawl last night. Did a couple things for Halloween last weekend, because last weekend was when everybody went out for Halloween. Oh yeah, and here in Tulsa, they do an Oktoberfest, which is kind of like a fair, like a real, you know, festival. They have rides and tents and all kinds of things. That was a couple weekends ago, so that was a good time. Also, remember, I don't do tutorials because my hands are not great. Although it is a nice way to show people that even though you're disabled and you might be a little wonky, you can still slay your makeup pretty well. Like, I'm not a beauty guru by any means, or a YouTuber, as Jenna Marbles likes to put it, which I think is a great term that no one uses. But I mean, I think that I make things work for me, considering my shortcomings in certain areas, you know? There are certain things I can't do, and I'm fine with that. And you should also be fine with the things you can't do. I do love this brush though. Like, I want the same exact kit, I just want a lighter shade, I think. Because this ain't it, sis. I think I am ready to move on to eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go back in with my Shape Tape and prime my eyelids. And just as a warning, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this palette yet. Like, I looked on Pinterest and got some inspiration, but other than that, I don't really have a solid plan, which usually, I don't know, sometimes it works out for me, but a lot of the time it just doesn't, because I tend to overwhelm myself and not know what to do. But my looks always tend to come out starting messy, and then they turned out better, you know, towards the end. I think that's most art, you know, when you start, it's just freaking train wreck, and then as you go and you start working and blending more and more and kind of getting it together, it turns out. So that's what we're hoping for here. I have both eyes primed and looking a little crazy. I kind of want to go back in with this for a second. Yeah, they look crazy. We're gonna see how well this goes. I'm gonna take my HUDA palette. Also, all of my eyeshadow brushes are freaking Urban Decay brushes from like 5 years ago. So I need to update that collection soonish. So we're taking the Mercury Retrograde palette and we're just gonna think about this for a second. So I'm dying to use these blue shades. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Because there's so many shades I want to use, but I don't want it to look crazy. So what I'm going to do now is work with Hot Mess, Off Balance, Libra, Galaxy, and Utopia, and just kind of play around for a minute. I guess I will start with my little Anastasia brush. I lied. I'm gonna start with a little blending brush, or my little fluffy brush, and go with Off Balance first, I guess, which I used that earlier, and it's a pretty pink shade. It might be a little dark to start with. Let's see. No, it should work. Alright. So I'm gonna take this, fill my crease the best that I can. Yeah, happy with that. Okay. This is how I should have started last time, but I didn't. So in the first one that I did, I started with Utopia, which is the peachy orange shade, and then put this underneath it, and it just didn't blend very well, so I'm kind of glad I got to start over. See, this was my problem. One side always ends up looking better than the other, and I don't know how to Alright, so now I'm gonna take the other end of this brush, which is a little flatter, and I'm gonna go in with Utopia on top of that. Alright, that turned out alright, I guess. Let me kind of go in here, just level that out a little bit. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Now, let's see. Alright, now I'm gonna take the flat brush and go in with Hot Mess on the outer corner. Just kind of cross it there for a second. Oh, I did say in the first one, like I'll say now, this is not a tutorial because I do not have fantastic skills at the moment. Not bad. Getting there. Alright, now the dreaded other side. I feel like the angles don't match, but I feel like I can fix that when I do my under eye. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease and probably touch up underneath my eye in a second, because I did like take all of my makeup off earlier, and you can kind of tell right there. It's just kind of patchy, and I don't like it. You should see my workstation right now, it's insane. Okay, so the creases I cut earlier were very nice. Let's see if I can recreate that. Alright, well, that's one. Pretty good. Hopefully the other one will match, but I don't expect it to. I feel like when I have no expectations, it turns out not necessarily better, I just don't get as upset when it turns out looking like crap. Or maybe I just don't even think it looks like crap because I wasn't expecting it to look any sort of way. Alright, so at this point I'm thinking of being a little risky. And going in with, what's that called? Supernova right here, working it in from the hot mess and then blending into Galaxy. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like go back over the edges with hot mess really fast. Like right here. Alright, I'm super nervous because this is kind of where it all went downhill earlier. Using my little sponge brush. Alright, I'm nervous. So I'm starting the supernova. Starting here. And then I'm gonna go back in with hot mess and kind of blend out the two for a second. Go back in with this little brush, back into hot mess, and just kind of finagle it a little bit. Maybe, let me see, I'll use this little bitty, it's not a little bitty blending brush, but you know what, that's not small enough either. But I am gonna do the same thing on this side, just so it's even. Blending up my tiny brush that's on one of my Urban Decay brushes. Let me see, oh, this one. So it has this little bitty, tiny end on it. And I'm just gonna take this, kind of work that color around for a second. Alright, now I'll go back in with my little sponge. And keep going with the supernova. Alright, so I'm going to take the other side of this sponge brush and dip into Galaxy. And just kind of press it into the corner. This turned out much prettier than the first one I did. Now, what do I want? I want to take this brush again, kind of go right in here. So I will say that I've been having issues with this eyeshadow kind of like packing and caking in weird places. It could be my technique, but I use pretty much the same crappy technique for everything I do, and they don't all do that, so I don't know if it's this palette or what. But I'm not a huge fan of that happening to me. See, okay, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but like right here, it's just got this weird swoopy area where it's darker and there's no reason for it. So I'm gonna try to take a blending brush back in with off balance just a little bit and kind of push it through here to see if I can't maybe get it to calm down. Alright, cool. I'm not touching it anymore. Not touching it. Alright, I'm gonna go underneath my, whoop, almost dropped it, didn't do it. Alright, I'm gonna go underneath my eye with hot mist. Kind of hitting little details. Bringing this line down a little bit lower to accommodate our mess. Okay, so now I'm gonna take Utopia again, which is the orange shade, and go in right here. You can still kind of see where the blue was that I used earlier. Harper. I like that. Where's my concealer brush? I'm gonna try to fix these edges. Alright, I don't exactly know the correct way to fix edges. I guess it just depends on where you want your eyeshadow to go. Okay, pretty good. Alright, let's see if I can do it again. Alright, so now that that craziness is handled, I'm going to take my fluffy brush and take the rounded end first. Go in with, what's that? Momentum, which is this light nude shade. I don't really have a good brow bone highlight, but this blends very nicely. I figured out last time. Just kind of pulling the edge out a little bit. I'm going to take the same color on the fluffy end, just kind of push it into the inner corner, and the whole inner side, I guess. I don't know what you call this, the inner corner, but it's not just the corner, it's the whole side. Just kind of work that in there, blending things together right here so they don't look so crazy. Cool. Now I'm going to do finishing touches like highlight and just add a few things, and I will be back. So here's my finished look finally. I had a lot of fun doing this despite the fact that I had to do it twice. I did my lips with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics liquid lip set. Well, one of them. I used Calabasas from the set that I got in my mystery box, for the Halloween mystery box, and then I used the mystery shade from the summer mystery box to do an ombre, and I'm pretty happy with it. Anyways, I really enjoyed kind of talking about everything that I've been doing lately, but the next one will be my wrap up, and probably do it the Friday or next Friday, which will be my last day, just to kind of have everything fresh on my mind. But if you stuck with me this long, I love and appreciate you very much, and I can't wait to see all my friends and family when I get home. I'm so excited to tell you all my stories and everything that's been going on. I love you. Thank you for everything, and I will see you on the next one.